following announcement has been paid for by the Wrestling Epicenter.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, guys.
Hello, ladies. Remember me? Let me talk to you, dummies.
It's now time
It's beer time. TikTok.
It's showtime!
for the longest running wrestling talk show in history.
We are huge. It's gonna be cool.
You're where it's at.
You smell like me.
Tune in each and every week.
You better keep listening, or I'll come out of your computer
And turn it on for you.
or else I'm gonna kick your stinking teeth in.
We've been known by a few names.
The needs of the many far outweigh the needs of the few.
The Interactive Interview,
Interactive interview. Oh, yeah.
Interactive interview.
The interactive interview. Interactive interview. The interactive interview.
Interactive Wrestling Radio,
Interactive wrestling radio.
Interactive Wrestling Radio.
Interactive radio.
Interactive wrestling radio.
Interactive wrestling radio.
The Blaze,
Blaze 1260 AM. The Blaze.
The Blaze.
Blaze. The Blaze Rock.
and a lot of other names.
Weekend Weird of Wrestling. The Pile Driver. The Epa Wrestling Center.
3 Count Wrestling.
The Hours Lab.
But it's all one show, the Wrestling Epicenter.
Wrestling Epicenter. The Wrestling Epicenter.
The Epicenter.
Wrestling Epicenter, dude. The Wrestling Epicenter. Don't get off.
And your host from day one,
By ignorance or arrogance.
James Walsh.
Wake up, sleepyheads.
Dr. Carol House.
It all starts
What a rush. Oh, Boomer Sooner.
Thank you very much.
I got 2 words for you. Thumbs down. Breaking necks and cashing checks. Burn. I've heard a lot about you guys.
Check it out. Get out of my face. You win!
But I'm desperately out of time!
So what you gonna do when Blaze-a-mania runs wild on you?
now.
Hey everybody, and welcome to this month's TNA conference call with Kurt Angle. Before we hand it over to Kurt, I just wanted to go over some ratings information with you. This past Thursday, TNA Impact posted, airing from 11 p.m. to midnight on Thursday, the telecast averaged a .9 household rating, with a 1.0 in men's 18 to 49 and a 1.3 in men's 18 to 34, averaging 1.1 million viewers. After 26 telecasts in this time slot, TNA Impact is averaging a .9 household rating with a 1.1 in men 18 to 49, a 1.3 in men 18 to 34, and an average audience of 1.1 million viewers. Among ad-supported cable channels in this time slot over the past 26 weeks on average, TNA on Spike is ranked number 2 in men's 18 to 49, number 1 in men 25 to 34, and number 2 in men's 18 to 34. At this point in time, I'm going to hand the call over to Kurt Angle for the Q&A. I just want to go over a couple of ground rules before I give it to him. First of all, there's a record number of response to this call today. So in the interest of time, we're going to limit everybody to one question at a time when you're in your queue. So you can ask one question. If you'd like to ask another question, you can get back on the queue. But when you have Kurt to yourself, please limit it to one question. And also, Kurt actually has something right after this call. So if you could keep, pleasantries to a minimum, just to keep moving it along, it would be greatly appreciated by everybody. So here's Mr. Angle. Hold on one second.
Okay, I'm ready. Hello, everybody. This is Kurt Angle, and I'm ready to take any questions you guys have to offer.
All right, we'll begin the question and answer session. Press star 1 on their touch-tone phone. Your name will be placed into a queue until it's announced. If somebody has asked your question before we can reach you, you can remove yourself from the queue by pressing the pound key. So if you have a question, please press star 1 now. And our first question comes from Jason Clevitt with Slam Wrestling. You have the floor.
Hi, Kurt. How are you today?
Good, thank you.
I actually have a question sort of related to the past. There's going to be a lot of questions about the decision and stuff, so I'm going to take it a little bit back. WrestleMania 19, your match with Brock Lesnar, when he did that shooting star press and landed on his head, what was going through your mind? Did you flash back to SummerSlam when you got knocked with the? How did you get the match back on track?
I wasn't sure if he was coherent. I asked him a few different times, and eventually he gave me a response of more of a like a huh, and wasn't sure what to do at that point. And I asked him if he was able to stand, and he said, "I think so." And what I did is basically I helped to pick him up, and I therefore told him what to do at that point, and simply all he had to do was his finish move, which he did, and we were able to, turn a disaster into quite a bit of a success story. And him landing the way he did, although we had an incredible match, it actually added to it, which we weren't expecting. But in pro wrestling, anything can happen. That actually happened. I give Brock a lot of credit for being able to finish, and he also for him being able to stay healthy.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
The next question comes from Brian Stoll with the Stranglehold. Go ahead, sir.
Hey, Kurt, how you doing?
Very well, thank you.
I think I probably speak for a lot of wrestling fans out there that everybody's excited to see that you're back in the ring. Also, though, a little concerned. I went back over some of the interviews we've done in the past, and after you broke the neck one time, you said you were going to come back and be a little more cautious, and after your daughter was born, you said you were going to be a little more cautious. Just how is it going to be different this time? How are you going to still be Kurt Angle, especially with this new list of competitors, and you said you're going to be unleashed and no longer held back? How is it going to be different that with all the health issues you've had, how are you going to take care of those issues that you faced before?
Well, in the past, I was never given enough time to properly heal, to rehabilitate, and with TNA, I made an agreement with Dixon Carter that I would wrestle when I felt that I was able to go 100%. If there were any time in my time frame where I didn't feel that well, I would call her and tell her, listen, maybe not this week, maybe next week. I was traveling 260 to 300 days a year, with my former employer. With Dixie, I don't intend to even try to attempt that. I expect to wrestle as much as I can, when they need me most, and that's the way I'll be utilized. I am the new name and face of TNA, and therefore I do have responsibilities that I should be at the most important events, but at the same time, they're going to give me enough rest to heal up so that I can go 100% each and every time. I've always told you I would hold back, but what I found out is I can't go any less than 120%. I never did in my life. I've tried. It just doesn't work for me. If I have another 10-year career, great. If I have a 5-year career, great. But what I've learned about myself is I can't slow down. I give the fans what they pay for, and I will continue to do that.
Okay, I'll jump back in the rotation. Thanks, Kurt.
Thank you.
The next question comes from Richard Jones with the Pain Clinic. Go ahead, sir.
Hi, sir. Congratulations on joining TNA, and I wish you happiness and health. I want to ask you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Name some things that we've heard that you were frustrated in the past year. Name some things that frustrated you with your former employer.
The main thing that frustrated me was that I wasn't getting the proper medical care. Wasn't getting enough rest. Basically, I felt like I was being buried into the ground. And when I'd ask for time off, they'd say, "Okay, you're getting it." But when that time off came, they'd call upon me and say, "Listen, we need you because somebody else went down." So, on a basis of timing and other incidents, unfortunate incidents that occurred with other athletes, WWE was in a position where they needed me more this past year than they ever did before, and I felt I was being treated very unfairly due to the fact that I'd given my heart and soul to that company, and in turn wasn't getting the respect that I deserved as far as getting my rest periods, them knowing that I've had 5 neck injuries, them knowing that that a wrestler can't be on the road 260, 300 days a year. I wasn't just used to wrestle. I was used to do all the media days. I was used to do all the interviews. I was used to do all the appearances. At that point, I put my foot down, and somewhat I I didn't behave erratically, but I felt that I wanted to, basically tell them, listen, the interviews and the appearances and stuff, why don't we cut those short, and I'll do those on the days that I'm on the road, and therefore don't make me go on the road when I don't have to, because I need to be at home rehabilitating my neck, giving my body some rest, being with my family, and that wasn't happening, so I was very unhappy.
Thank you.
The next question comes from Mike Lano at the NBC Radio Gong magazine. Go ahead, sir.
Hey, Kurt. My Japan editors asked, one, what are your MMA thoughts and intentions, and is there any substance to the Tokyo Sports Report of you being offered Brock for potential New Year's Eve at the K1 huge event?
The offer was there. I'm not going to lie to you. Am I interested in MMA? Yes. I've had every MMA company come to me with, I'm talking about retirement kind of money. Probably more than they ever paid anyone else. They obviously feel that I'm a very big commodity, being an Olympic gold medalist, and probably one of, if not the most well-known professional wrestlers in wrestling today. So they felt that, in order to get me, they'd have to pay me a large sum of money. The money's important to me, but also the timing is as well. And am I going to do MMA? TNA has given me that's another reason why I went with TNA, is because they gave me the room to spread my wings, to get involved in MMA if I choose to do so, to give me the time off to train, to do movies, to do TV shows. I had a boss, but I was no longer owned. And I hated the feeling of being owned and being told what to do and what not to do all the time, rather than having someone give me, consultation, which is what TNA does. They say, we feel this is good for you. We feel this isn't good for you. When I was with the other company, it was no, you're not doing it. All you're going to do is be a wrestler. And, therefore, I no longer ever wanted to be owned by anyone again. And then again, I want to reiterate, I have a boss, and I listen to my boss, and her name's Dixie Carter. And she's the one that I answer to. But at the same time, she gives me the flexibility to go out there and pursue other things that I want to do. And that's very important to me. And that's what I wasn't getting in WWE. They own your name. They own you. They own everything about you. And there's not anything you can do or say to get out of your contract, to pursue other things. It's just, you're strictly wrestling unless he gives you the green light, in which he did not do that for me because I was his best wrestler.
All right, just what I wanted to ask you, do you feel that you were pushed out of the WWE and maybe they wanted you to go over to TNA, such as a Bret Hart situation, to where I think Vince wanted Bret to go over to WCW to help dwindle their funds? Do you see a similarity with this?
You know what? Let me start with why I left. WWE just signed me to a new 5-year deal, so there was no reason for them to try to push me out. If anything, WWE needed me now more than ever. Or were they trying to? Vince is trying to compete with himself, with the SmackDown, with the ECW, with the Raw. He wants to keep it that way. He doesn't want TNA to succeed, and he doesn't want to push out his best wrestler. That would be very stupid of him. What he did not do is, I think the WWE was so desperate that they kept me on the road all those times when I necessarily didn't have to be on the road, where they could have taught their younger talent and replaced them with me, or replaced me with them, so they could get experience. Instead, they were so nervous about making money at each and every show that they wanted Kurt Angle there. I decided to leave WWE. I'm the one that asked for the meeting to meet with Vince up at his office. I'm the one that asked for the release. And Vince asked me if we make it a mutual release. And I said, yes. So rumors of me being pushed out and rumors of me getting fired are very false. And, I'm here talking to everybody just to tell the truth of what happened. And Vince McMahon basically wanted me to stay. I did not want to stay. I no longer enjoyed working for him. I wasn't having fun anymore. I felt the company was going downward, really hard, downward spiral. I felt that, a person like me not being utilized properly was not the smartest thing in the world. I felt that I was the best one there, and I think that any agent there in WWE complained about the same thing. They felt that Kurt Angle should be the top guy there. Obviously, the CEO of WWE didn't feel the same. For whatever reason, I can't tell you. Did he think I was a liability because of my neck? Maybe so. But did he want to lose me? No, by no means did he want to lose me. To just tell you in a nutshell, I asked for the meeting. I got my release because I asked for it. And Vince McMahon asked me, can we make it a mutual release? Just to make his company basically save face. And that's what happened, and that's the end of the story, basically.
The preceding announcement was paid for by the Wrestling Epicenter.
I'm listening, and if you like what you heard, I'm glad. If you didn't like what you heard, well, go fuck yourself.
Most people don't hung up on me.
We had a lovely conversation.
What a show.
Oh, mercy, Daddy. On your radio dial.
Don't hang up. Bye-bye.